Welcome back to Recap Lab. This video may contain spoilers, so watch responsibly. The story begins at a busy port in Hong Kong, where cranes are loading containers onto ships. These containers, under tight security, are being sent to different destinations. Inside one of these containers, along with stacks of cash, is a man named Ivan Marcus. After a series of security checks, Ivan steps out of the container. The container, shipped from Spain to Hong Kong, was carrying $1.5 million. Once the money was verified, Ivan was set to receive a 3% commission for his work as a courier, amounting to nearly $380,000. A few years earlier, Ivan is seen pulling up in a Ferrari outside a luxurious hotel. However, it is soon revealed that he is just a valet. Later that night, drenched from the rain, Ivan returns home and hands his daily earnings to his mother, making her smile with pride. She encourages him to spend time with his father, who misses him a lot. Ivan comes from a humble background and is determined to become successful. Once Ivan admired his father as a hero and could never forget the day they went to the bank to apply for a loan to open a wedding banquet hall. At first, their business did very well, and the family prospered. However, due to an economic crisis, his father's business collapsed. This failure left a deep impact on Ivan, and he vowed never to live in poverty again. After the recession, Ivan's father spent his days complaining in front of the TV, which annoyed Ivan. In contrast, Ivan started working as a valet, but always kept an eye out for business opportunities. Unlike his father, Ivan believed in taking risks and refused to settle for the status quo. One day, he shared a business idea with his friends, buying a rundown apartment, renovating it, and selling it for a profit. However, his friends showed no interest, claiming they didn't have enough money. Ivan suggested taking a loan from the bank, but his friends just laughed at him. One day, while working as a valet, Ivan and his friend noticed a drunk man named Mr. Laris, a minister in the current government. Ivan offered to drive him home, and the man agreed. Ivan was curious about the man's briefcase and managed to open it. Inside, he found a large stack of cash and secretly took a few bills for himself. Later, when they reached the minister's house, Ivan met a woman named Mary, whom the minister worked for. Ivan confidently told Mary that he could do her work better than the drunken minister and didn't care about the nature of her business. He even revealed that the minister had been stealing from her. Mary, impressed by Ivan's confidence, offered him €10,000 to deliver a package, which Ivan eagerly accepted. The next day, Ivan delivered a horse to a man named Francisco for his daughter Leticia's birthday. During their conversation, Ivan discovered that Francisco was from the same hometown. Francisco shared his story, explaining how he used to work at a photocopy shop and slowly built connections with influential people to achieve his current success. After this, Ivan was tasked with delivering a cash-filled briefcase from Francisco to Mary. However, during the journey, Ivan was stopped by the police. They quickly found the cash in the briefcase. To save himself, Ivan lied, claiming he had just sold his house and that the money was from the sale. The police didn't believe him and became aggressive, slamming his head against the car. Cornered, Ivan confidently bluffed, claiming he knew their boss and could call him. The bluff worked, and the police let him go. Later, it was revealed that the police worked for Mary and that the incident was staged to test Ivan's loyalty. After completing the delivery, Ivan received his payment along with a bonus to buy new clothes. Over time, Ivan and Mary grew closer. One day, Ivan met Mary's husband, Francis, who was the son of a notorious diamond smuggler. Francis also ran a foreign currency trafficking business. Ivan thrived in his role as a courier, earning good money and driving luxury cars. Francisco, also known as Paco, was in the business of laundering money for wealthy clients, with Francis and Mary assisting him. Paco gave Ivan cash-filled briefcases to deliver to Belgium. One day, Paco saw Ivan talking to Leticia and warned him to stay away from her. A few days later, Ivan met Mary at a restaurant. He informed her that the situation in Belgium had become too risky, so they had found a new partner in Geneva. While talking, they both noticed a strange couple sitting nearby. Observing them, Ivan joked about how such a dull man could be with a woman like that, to which Mary replied that the contents of his briefcase could make anything possible. Ivan still wanted to continue working with Mary because he wanted to learn more about this entire game. They later arrived at a building where they met Mr. Stool, another business partner of Mary's, who had devised an efficient system for laundering black money. He charged only a 3% commission for his services. Shortly afterward, while talking to his mother, Ivan saw the same man from the restaurant on TV. To his surprise, he also saw the man's wife on television and realized that the man was having an affair with the woman at the restaurant. Ivan calmly waited for the man, named Luis, to return so he could install a camera in his room and blackmail him. Ivan even paid a cleaner some money to help him sneak into the room. Unfortunately, a security officer named Yannick caught Ivan red-handed. However, Yannick turned out to be just as corrupt. He only wanted a share of Ivan's profits. Yannick installed the camera himself, and the evidence they collected was more than enough to blackmail Louis. Ivan became confident that Yannick could be an excellent partner because, apart from being powerful, he was also very smart. After the job was done, they partied together all night. Later, Ivan met Mary and told her that his mother had been insisting on meeting him for quite some time. Mary immediately told him to take as much leave as he needed, saying that family was the most important thing. She also gifted him a watch, explaining that a person's shoes and watch say everything about them. Ivan and Yannick then met Louis and showed him the footage, giving him two choices: ruin his image by going to the police or start working with them. They wanted Louis to help them transport money from Spain to Switzerland and open a new branch in his city. Initially hesitant, Louis had no choice but to agree to their terms. Their deal was that in exchange for deleting the video, Louis would introduce them to the key players in his network. At this point, Ivan had no idea that a special police unit was monitoring this event, marking the first time Inspector Roy came across Ivan's name. With Louis's support and backing, Ivan started meeting influential people and understanding how their business operated. Louis also vouched for Ivan, helping him earn their trust. Later, Ivan met Mary and shared details about his new business. However, Mary expressed her concerns, stating that Francisco would not be happy about this. Francisco would dislike the idea of two newcomers taking his clients because if Ivan and Yannick did not launder the black money, Francisco would do it. But Ivan believed that there was enough money in this business for everyone and promised not to poach Francisco's clients. After spending the night together, Ivan asked Mary to stay, but she told him that she wanted to spend Christmas with her family. When Ivan visited his family in Madrid, he brought plenty of gifts. However, his father was far from happy because he had no idea what Ivan did for a living. He kept questioning Ivan about his work, to which Ivan vaguely replied that he was involved in import-export with some prominent people. Their conversation soon escalated into an argument. After fighting with his father, Ivan visited his old friends, who were now buying old flats, renovating them, and selling them for profit. Essentially the same business idea Ivan had suggested years ago. Time passed, and Ivan's business continued to grow. At one meeting, Ivan encountered Francisco and Leticia. Francisco was furious about Ivan stealing his clients and even warned him about it. When Ivan didn't back down, Francisco sent his men to teach Ivan and Yannick a lesson, just to show that they had no right to do business in his territory. Instead of running away, Ivan decided to confront Francisco and convinced him that he wouldn't take his clients. He even proposed a deal, saying, "Sir, since I'm working in your area, you can take 30% of my profits." Francisco was pleased with this arrangement. Ivan continued to earn a lot of money, but his success made him arrogant. When Mary commented on his changing behavior, Ivan became angry, believing that the one bringing in the most money deserved respect. Mary then revealed that her husband had learned about an investigation into Francisco and advised Ivan to stay away from it. However, Ivan ignored her advice and planned to expand his business even further. Sometime later, Ivan noticed undercover police officers outside a party and approached them, saying, "Take me to your boss." The officers brought him to the police station, where Ivan met Inspector Manuel Roy, who was in charge of the inquiry. Ivan said he was fully ready to assist the police, revealing that Francisco was his boss and claiming he handed all the money over to him. Ivan promised to provide all the information they needed about Francisco, but demanded complete safety and protection in return. Ivan had also promised to give 30% of his profits to Francisco with the sole intention of later trapping him. Now, however, Ivan needed evidence to prove that he hadn't informed the police about Francisco. To create this alibi, he took Leticia to Paris, fulfilling all her demands for a week. Ivan pretended to be in love with her just to ensure no one suspected him, and so he could claim, "I was out with my girlfriend. How could I have been involved?" A few days later, when Leticia heard on TV that her father had been arrested, she immediately prepared to return to Madrid, unaware that Ivan was responsible for her father's arrest. But upon their return to the city, Leticia caught Ivan sleeping with random women, realizing he had been faking his love for her. After Francisco's arrest, Ivan assured everyone that he would manage Francisco's clients until he was released. However, Mary and her husband Francis opposed the idea, pointing out that the police likely had information about Francisco's clients, and working with them could put Ivan in trouble. Ivan eventually agreed and decided to shut down his business for the time being. He squandered all his remaining money partying in Madrid. When he finally ran out of funds, he returned home, only to discover that his father had passed away and that his mother now desperately needed his support. Even after returning home, Ivan couldn't stop thinking about new business ideas. Eventually, he learned about the Chinese mafia and sought information about Yao Ming from Louis. Ming transported black money from Spain to China, but used outdated methods, often getting caught. Ivan later met Mary and discussed striking a deal with Yao Ming. The biggest challenge was that transferring or withdrawing money from Switzerland had become almost impossible, while their clients demanded cash. Ivan proposed a solution, transferring the money stuck in Switzerland to Yao's Chinese account, and in return, Yao would provide them with cash in Spain. Both parties liked the idea and immediately agreed to it. As Mary and Ivan celebrated their new deal, Francisco suddenly appeared at their table. After Ivan betrayed Leticia, Francisco had figured out that Ivan had tipped off the police about him. Francisco had bribed the judge to get his case dismissed and was now determined to take revenge on Ivan. At the same time, they learned that a software engineer working for them had leaked the list of Swiss bank accounts. Stuhl and Francis fled with the remaining money, leaving Ivan and Mary in deep trouble, as most of their clients were on that list. While the police chased them, Chinese clients, men suddenly captured them and brought them to Yao Ming, who was also in a dire situation because the police were after him as well. Yao suspected that Ivan had informed the police about him and intended to kill both Ivan and Mary. Just as Yao was about to shoot Ivan, Ivan quickly came up with a plan. He promised Yao that he would personally deliver his money safely. Ivan assured Yao that he would hide in a container filled with cash and transfer all of Yao's money from Spain to Hong Kong. Though risky, it was the only plan that could save Ivan's life and reassure Yao that Ivan wouldn't inform the police. According to the plan, Ivan successfully reached Hong Kong. He was elated, thinking he would now earn a 3% commission. But suddenly, the police arrived and arrested him, sending him back to Spain. Ivan realized that his only hope now was to find a good lawyer to reduce his sentence. However, his lawyer informed him that he was guaranteed at least 15 years in prison. Desperate, Ivan tried bribing the police inspector, but the officer couldn't be bought. Ivan later discovered that Mary had informed the police about him to save her own life, leading to his arrest in Hong Kong. Ivan understood her actions, reasoning that he might have done the same in her position. Later, Yao Ming was also captured by the police. In the end, just as Ivan was about to go to prison, he remembered his father's words and realized they had been true all along. In an interview, Ivan confessed that his greed for money had overtaken him, leading to his downfall. With this realization, the movie concludes with the words, "The end." If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye!